can buy them quite a lot larger than this. It's fresh, you can actually buy them frozen. When they're fresh, you need to gut them and clean them. If they're frozen, all you normally need to do is defrost it and then cook it straight away because the guts would have been removed. I'm wearing gloves and a thick apron. It's a little bit messy, but it's a very quick and simple process to go through. All I'm going to do is cut the tentacles off and separate them from the head. I'm cutting just below the eye. And then what I need to do is open up the head and actually gut the head. I'm going to actually cook the head, but I don't want any of the interior. I'm going to use a pair of scissors just to open this up. This one actually feels quite gritty, so it will need a really thorough washing. And all you do, you see the grit coming out of here, is just put your hand in and just pull all that away. Guts and all. And it's as simple as that. All you need to then do is just throw away. You've got the eyes there, it's quite gritty as you can see, you've got the eyes and you've got down here a little part of the, just going to slip them a little bit lower down. And just take off the little filter as well. It's as simple as that. And once you've taken out the guts and the interior, all you need to do is wash that in plenty of cold water. What you can then do is pull away the exterior skin that covers the head. And as I do that, you can just see as I'm pulling that away, you've got a really lovely white textured head under there. That tells me that's really good quality. As these lose condition, they tend to turn a little bit pink. That wants to come away. Having done that, I'm going to cook the tentacles with the skin on, and we've got the head. All you need to do before you do anything else is wash them, and then you're ready to go on to the next process. Now, with all the cephalopod group, which is cuttlefish, octopus and squid, they're very versatile for the cook because they either can be cooked very rapidly or very slowly. Octopus is generally cooked very, very slowly in a braise or a stew, and that's what I'm going to do with that today. Traditionally, it needs tenderising, and the tenderising process is normally done by beating it with a wooden mallet. I have another technique, which is actually blanching the octopus in order to allow the proteins to gradually break down, and then we can go on to the casseroling process. The other advantage of doing that is that in the little tentacles here where you've got all the suction pads, by actually slowly breaking that down, what actually happens is you actually rinse those as well. And the octopus we've been dealing with today is quite muddy and gritty, so it's really to an advantage to make sure that's done really well. I've got a hot pan of water, I've got a cold pan of icy cold water here. All I'm going to do is take the octopus, I'm going to drop it into boiling water and straight into cold. So in that goes. It takes about 10 seconds, that water's just hot enough. And you can see, as soon as it comes out, it's actually started to firm up straight away. That then goes into cold water. I'm then going to do the same with the head. Drop that into boiling water for about 10 seconds, and then we're going to lift it into the cold water. And that actually is a really good way of tenderising it. The octopus I have today, I'm actually then going to casserole, but if you want to use this for a quick stir-fry salad, actually tenderising it like this is also really beneficial because it will take just seconds just to heat through in a pan. Lift out the head, straight into cold water. I'm going to return the tentacles back to the boiling water, another 10 seconds or so, and then back into the cold water. And we do that 3 or 4 times and then get it ready for frying. Having blanched and tenderised the octopus, I'm now going to cook it with some red onions and rioja and stock and braise it. For a braise, you normally have just enough liquid to cover the base of the pan. If you wanted to stew it, you'd normally cut the actual meat or whatever you're cooking, in this case the tentacles, into pieces, and then make sure they're completely submerged in the liquid. What I'm going to do first of all is just brown the tentacles. Got the lovely colour of the skin on those, and actually what you end up with is this beautiful deep brown casserole. It's a real winter warmer. I'm going to brown, just drying them off a little bit so they don't splash too much. A few seconds in hot oil, It's going to spit because it's actually quite a lot of water, although we tried drying them off really well. And when it goes in there, you brown it to really bring out the colour of the skin. And that's also going to intensify the flavour of this when it's actually casseroled a bit later. Just a few seconds in hot oil. Once they're browned, we're going to pop them into a pan with some red onions. We've browned the red onions in a little bit of butter and oil. We've added some garlic. We've added a little bit of sugar and balsamic vinegar and allowed that to brown really well. So you've got a really lovely base there. The octopus tentacles and the head go in whole. And then I'm going to add a glass of red wine. In this particular case, it's Rioja. And then we're going to just pour in the stock and bring that back up to the boil. Got a little bit of rosemary to go in. You don't need to add any seasoning at this stage because at the end of the cooking, we're going to reduce the cooking liquid right down to a sticky glaze to create a nice jus around the octopus, and you're going to serve it like that. Once the liquid's up to the boil, we're going to cover it and pop it into the oven at gas mark 3, 170 degrees Celsius, and cook it until it's tender, which is going to take somewhere between an hour and a half, an hour and 3/4. And at that stage, we're going to lift the octopus out and just reduce the cooking liquid down, and then we'll be ready to serve it with some aioli, which is garlic mayonnaise. The octopus has now come out of the oven and it's just tender. So what I'm going to do is lift the tentacles out of the cooking liquid and just pop them on a serving dish, and the same with the head. The liquid in the bottom is a little bit still in there with lots of red onion. That's going to reduce away by rapid boiling until it's reached a nice syrupy consistency, and then we can spoon it over the top of the octopus to serve. I would leave the tentacles whole, but if you want, you can cut them into pieces, and then that's ready to go. And an octopus of this size is probably enough to feed 2 people. On the side, I'd have root veg or lots of mashed root veg, and we've got the aioli just a spoon over the top just to serve.